we are trying to build one simple e-commerce application, and we are going to utilize flows to build this. Okay, so let's start. The first page, what we are seeing right now is accounts, list of accounts, and we can select a particular account and then try to create order by selecting some products. Okay, let's say I select Edge Communications account. I can even search for a particular account if I want to, right? And then I click next. So now I see a list of products, right? So these are all the products we sell. So the users can select one or more products. Let's say they select a few products and say next. In the next screen, we see order details. So we'll enter like order date, and then what is the payment mode. And then we also have the selected products. We have selected 3 products. It's showing the showing 3 products to us. So we basically enter quantity. So I want to buy 1 iPhone, 1 Bluetooth speaker, and maybe some 3 of these roasted coffee beans. And I say next. So what this basically does is an order is created with this order number and what is the total amount, right? So let's look at this particular order. And this is the order that got created. And we can see like there are 3 order line items with all other details that we filled. So this entire flow, order processing I have built using flow. Okay, so we'll try and replicate this thing by building a new flow now. Okay, so before any questions on the use case that we are trying to build? Okay, so basically what I have done, I have created a few custom objects to build this flow. I'm utilizing standard accounts. Account is the parent. Under that, there will be 1 or more orders. So there is master detail relationship between account and orders. And then there are products. So this is also a custom object. So product basically has details like name, price, type, image, etc. And then there is a junction object between order and product, which is order line item, where we will be storing like what is the quantity, what is the total price, unit price, so on. And then we will be rolling up that amount to total amount on orders. So simple schema and simple application to demonstrate how flows can be utilized. Okay. So now let's start building this flow. Going to start from scratch. This is a screen flow. Let's start. So the first thing that we are seeing in our flow is the list of accounts, right? So let's get a list of accounts first, right, from database. So I'll use this get records, get list of accounts. Okay. So I'll get from Salesforce objects, accounts object, and there are no condition. I want all accounts, and I want to sort them by name, account name, and include all accounts. And that's it, store all fields. Okay. So now once we have got the list of accounts, we are going to display the accounts. So I'm going to add a screen. Okay. Screen element. This is account list screen, accounts list screen. So other things I'm not going to bother much, like header, I'm going to leave it as it is. Footer has buttons, so I'm going to leave them as it is. Yeah, so we can configure those also, but right now I'm not worried about those. Now let's get a data table because I want to show the data in the form of table, right? So I'll use data table element. And for this data table, the data I'm going to use is what I queried in the previous step, right? So this is the data coming from get list of accounts, right? And then we'll say what is the accounts list. Okay, yeah, this is account list. And then we can configure rows. So how many rows do I want to select, right? When I want to create an order, I'm going to allow them to select just 1 row at a time, right? I can allow multiple, but in our use case, it makes sense to allow 1 selection, right? If I say view only, then there is no checkbox or radio button that you will see here. If you want radio button, then make it single. If you want a checkbox, then you can make it multiple, right? So I'm going to say single. And then is it required to select? Yes, because without selecting an account, I don't want to create an order. So select at least one account. Then configure rows. These are the configure columns. These are the columns that show in our data table. So I want to show name. Done. Then include type. Done. Account number probably. Done. So these are the fields from account. Anything else? No. Yeah, 3 fields. We can add more fields if you want to. So we have created a data table, right? So I'll say done. at this point, let's just see what we have built so far, right? It's good practice to keep checking if we are going on the right direction. So this I'll store as e-commerce demo. Save. So it's good practice to debug it every time you are building something. So click on debug. Say run. So what we are seeing is we got a list of accounts and we are displaying that list of accounts, right? So looks pretty good. The first page we have already built. So the next thing is after we select an account, and here we are seeing search, right? So in our case, we don't see search. So we can add that. So go to the data table element and then show search bar. So this will basically show the search bar here. Done. So the next page is after we select any account, go next, and it will show us a list of products, right? With the name, type, description, image, so on. So again, query for list of products. So get records, get list of products. Again, from Salesforce object, this I'm querying from custom object that I have created. And again, I'm going to get all products. I can filter if I want to, and then say ascending by name, include all records. Okay. Then I want to display them in another data table. So include a screen, and this I'll call as products list screen. The rest of it I'm not going to configure right now. I'm going to use the data table. And for the data table, the data we are going to use is the data we got from get list of products, right? And name of this is products. Yeah. I can include a show search bar if I want to. So configure rows. So in this case, they can select multiple, right? So they can purchase multiple products at a time. So let's say we are going to select multiple, and minimum they have to select one. Maximum they can select any number of products, or we can say 5 products. Minimum 1 product, maximum 5 products. And then configure rows. So name. Want to include product name. It starts with image. So let's start with image. So image is basically one field in my product object. It's a text area rich field, right? So which can store images also. So drag here. And then I want to include type. I want to include description. Just a second. Description. Done. And then I want to include price. Done. Okay. Cool. So now let's see what we have created so far. Save it. Debug. So we have created first screen, which is select an account, go to next. And we can see, we are able to see the list of products and we can select multiple products, right? We can search for products and then select the products and we see all the details. Any questions so far? It's quite simple, right?
From
Yeah.
where you are adding that image in
Yeah.
product object?
Yeah, I'll show you. So there is this product table. So when I say new, or let me edit existing one, say iPhone.
Okay.
So this is a text area rich field, right? So I'm just storing the image there. So I can attach anything I want, or I can write something inside this, but I'm just using it as a attachment.
Okay. I thought you are fetching from static resource.
Yeah, we can get it from static resource also. But if you store it in static resource, then you will have to store that static resource URL here, and then you can use it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So far we have been able to build these 2 pages quite easily, right? Been quite simple. So the next thing is after we select the products, we go to the next page, and this is the order detail page where we can enter order details, and for each product that we have selected, we can enter the quantity and other stuff, right? So let's start with that. So now once we select it, we go to include another screen. This is order summary screen, let's say, and it will have 2 sections. So text, display text. So this is order detail section. I'm going to just make it bold and look it a little bigger. Yeah. And then within order details, I'm going to enter, let's say what we are seeing order date and payment mode. Okay. So let's include a date component. So this is order date. This is required. And we can set default value if you want to. I'm not going to do that right now. And then I want payment mode. So this is going to be a pick list. And for this pick list, order payment mode, this is also required. And how are we going to get the data? We are going to get the data from the field from order object, right? So pick list choice set, order payment set. Then from order table, select pick list and the field is payment mode, right? It will by default get all the values like what we are seeing here in the dropdown. We'll be able to get that. Okay, so we have created that. Now let's create another section. Display text. So this is going to be order line item. So within order line item, what we are seeing is whatever products that we have selected, we are seeing the list of products, right? So to display the list of products, I'm going to use something called repeater. Okay, I can use a data table if I want to, but I just want to show how to use repeater also. So this is going to basically loop through all the elements and display them, right? So here, let's call it selected. See what name I want to use here. Just one moment. Products repeater. Okay. And what is the data that we are going to use? We are going to use the data that we selected in the previous step, right? So that would come from the screen, which is product list screen, and selected rows. So only show the selected rows from the list of products, right? And then right now I don't want to include this remove and add button. I'll show it in a different use case. So right now we don't need it. So I'm just removing those. That's it. And then for each product, what we are showing is we are showing the product name, then image, type, unit price, and quantity, right? So let's include display text or text. Product name. So the product name would come from selected rows and name, right? So selected row is a product, right? One of the products, just display its name. And if I want to format it, I can just say, make it look bold, say, yeah, 14, and then make it bold. Then I want to display image. So I'm going to use this display text and then product image. This is going to be selected row and image. Okay. And then what I want to display, unit price, type, unit price, and quantity. So include a display text. Just stop me if you have any questions, okay? I want to use selected products, type, let's make this part bold, and then unit price. So instead of just displaying the unit price, I'm going to use an input field here, just to display a variety of things that we can do. This is going to be product unit price. This is going to be disabled because it comes from the product object. So I'm going to make this disabled by setting this as true. And then default value would be selected rows price. Okay. We have done pretty much everything. What else is left? Quantity. Yeah. So let's include another here. Instead of this, I will use number. Right? Quantity is number. So let's include says number. This is my required. Done. Okay. So now let's review what we have done so far. To save this. Debug. So now we are displaying a list of accounts. I'll select an account, go to the next. So it's displaying the list of products, right? I can select one or more products. So let's select a few products, go next. And you can see like order detail and order line item details. And we see order detail, I can select order date and then select payment mode. And for each product we are seeing its image, type, unit price, then quantity. I can enter some quantity, right? 8 of these, 2 of these, whatever. and I'll say finish. So right now we are not saving it yet. So we are just showing the details right now, order details and order line item details. Any questions so far? Any doubts? No doubts. Everybody is understanding so far? Yes. Yeah. So it looks pretty
Yes.
straightforward, right? Yeah. Thanks for confirming. Yeah. So after this, what we will do, we'll enter all the details, and then finally we will be able to submit it and save that data to database, right? So for this, I can do multiple ways. So now I'm going to show a simple way. So we have basically here uh, order details and order line item details, right? So there are multiple line items, and I need to extract what is the product, because I want to store data as order and order line item, right? So I'm going to loop through each of these order line items and create a list of uh, order items to insert. Okay. So basically we have two things. We need to create orders and we need to create order line items, right? So I'm going to create a resource here. So new resource, this is of type variable. Let's call it order line items, right? So this is what we are going to insert. After inserting order, we are going to insert order line items. And this is going to be a record of type order line items. And this is a list, right? It allows multiple. So I'm creating like a variable to hold all my order line items, right? Similarly, I can create one more resource for order if I want to, but that I'll do differently. I'll show two different ways of doing it. So one for order line items, we have created variable, but order, we have not created variable. And we will create one more variable, which is again, I'll call it order line item. So this is a single line item or order line item record. Okay. So this is a single line item. And previously we created a list of line items, right? So this time I'm going to not check this checkbox, which means if I select this, this is a list. If I don't select it, it's a single item. And this is of type order item. Okay, done. So I have created two variables. So what we are going to do from this list of order line items that we are displaying in this repeater, I'm going to extract order line items and create data to be inserted to the database, right? So let's include one for, loop. So this is going to loop through selected products. Okay, whatever products we have selected, we will loop through them and we are going to create order items. Okay. So this is going to loop through what? Order summary screen, this selected product repeater, okay? And all items from that repeater. So this is the repeater, right? So this section, what we are saying, seeing where we are seeing order line items, that's a repeater. So I'm going to get all the items from the repeater and we are going to loop through them. And for each line item, I'm going to create an order item, okay? So for that, I can use this assignment element. And this is going to create order line item. And basically it is going to assign to the variable that we created. We created order line item record, right? So order line item record dot product equals current loop items ID, because it's a product, right? So it's a product ID. I'm going to use that to order line items product. So I'm assigning the ID of the product to order line items product. Similarly, I'll assign what else? Order line item record. It needs, say, unit price is equal to current loop items. Okay, one thing I missed here is go back and change it. So this one, the unit price, I'm using a text element, right? Instead, I should be using a number. Otherwise, the data type will not match. So instead of this, I'll use number and make it, just delete it. This is product unit price. And let's call it product price. I think there is already one more variable that we have created. So product price, this is going to be disabled, true. And the default value it is going to have is the value it is going to have the price. Yeah. Cool. So now we can go here, edit it, loop through each item and use product price. Okay. Similarly, assign quantity for order line item record quantity equals current loop items product quantity. So we have assigned all the values that we need to create order line item. There is one more field that we have not assigned, that is order this lookup, right? This is a foreign key which we have not assigned, which we will do it later, because right now we don't have the order itself, so we don't know its ID. So we'll do it later. So right now we are only using, we are assigning 3 values. What is the product that we have selected? What is the unit price? What is the quantity? And right now we just created one order item, but we need to insert multiple order items, right? So there are multiple order line items. So what we are going to do, we are going to use another assign element. And in this, this is basically add line items to list. Okay, so this is a list. So the list we are going to use is order line items. So this is a list variable, right? To this, just add whatever order line item we created here. Order line item record. Okay. Any questions so far? What we just did within this loop? Everybody is clear?
Yes.
Okay. So right now what we have in our order summary screen, we have order details, and we have created one variable called order line items. It will hold all the line items to be inserted to the database. Now we have all the data. So let's start with inserting this data to the database. So we are going to use, what is that? Create record. So first thing we need to create is order, right? Before we can insert order line item, we need to create order. So let's create order record. And here we are going to select manually, right? If we had created a variable of order, we could have selected this directly from record variable, but right now I'm going to use manually. For order line item, I will show how to use this record variable. So I'm going to say manual for order table. So what details? We have to link it to an account, right? So which account? In the first step, we are selecting account, right? So in the first step, we select an account. So we are going to use that account. So that is going to come from account list screen, data table, and first selected row, right? And I'm going to use its ID. So I'm just mapping whatever account we selected on the first screen to account field on order. Then on order, we have date. So date is going to be coming from order summary screen, order date. And then we have payment mode. This is going to come from account, order summary screen, order payment mode. Okay. So these are all the details that we are inserting to create an account. Okay. Now, once that account is created, we can insert order line items. So we have to map the order ID to each of the order line item. Okay. So to do that, I can do 2 ways. I can use a loop like this to loop through every item, or we can use this transform element. In the last class, somebody asked about transform. I just did some research, and it's a very powerful one. Okay. So this is basically going to assign order ID to each order item. Okay. So at this point, after we create a order record, it will give me order ID. So I'm going to map that order ID to each order item. So in this transform element, there are 2 things. So there is source data and there is target data. So one record data can be mapped to another record. It can be of same type or it can be of different type. So what I mean is, on the left side, I can select, let's say lead, and on the right side, I can map the fields of account, for an example. So in this case, what we are going to do, we are going to map between order line item and order line item only. Okay, source is going to be my order line items, which is this list of order line items. And I'm going to create a list of order line items with order ID. So I'm going to create the list of records again, and this is of type order line item. I could have done it through for loop also, just to demonstrate how transform works, right? Then I can map the fields between these 2. So the product field will map to product field. Then what else? Order field we will map in a moment. Then we have, just a second. Yeah. So total price we are not going to map. That's a formula field. Unit price will map to unit price, and quantity will map to quantity. So whatever data that we have created, right? In this case, we have the product itself, then we have product unit price, then we have product quantity. We are mapping it to the new list of order line items. And then we need to map order ID, right? Because we need to link all of these line items to order ID. And that order ID we can get from this create record. Okay. So for this, I'm going to, so if I just click here, it will give me a formula, right? And this is going to be a formula. Where am I going to get it? From create order. So from create order, get order ID. right? So done. Let's go back. And you can see by default it's mapping. Like when I selected order, create order, from that it is mapping the ID to order. So one feature of this transform element is source can be multiple. So here order line items is one source and this order record that got created is another source, but target can be single because you see this is disabled, this plus, but this plus is still there. I can still add more resource on the source side. So I can basically map multiple tables data to a single table if I want to, right? So any question on what is this transform doing? So for each order line item, I'm again creating a copy of order line item and then also mapping the order ID. Okay. The rest of the fields I'm just mapping as they are. Okay. So now at this point, we have a list of order line items that we can actually insert. So let's go ahead and insert them. So we are going to create records. And what we are going to use is this time I'm going to use record variable and multiple records I want to create. And what we are going to do, we are going to do the output of this transform that we did. So that is order line items from assign order ID. This is the transform element. So that output I am using because this transform element ultimately gives me a list of order line items, right? So I'm just using that as my data for data to be inserted to the database. So let's call this create order line items. Okay, done. So right now we have inserted everything, almost done. So we have created order line items, and finally I want to show the summary. Okay, so to display summary, I need to get order number. So I'm going to query again, get records, and this time I'm going to query for order, get order details from order table. And which order I want to get? The order that we just created. So ID is equal to the order that we created. Create order ID from create order. Okay. And I just want only one record and everything is fine. Then I'll finally display it in a screen. So let's call it order confirmation screen. Then I'm going to add a text, not text, display text. Order information message. So this is going to be just a text. Your order has been placed successfully. And then I'll display order details. So in order details, I'm going to say details order number. The order number is going to be from get orders name, which is our order number. Make this part bold. Then say order date. Order date. And I'm going to display total order amount. Order amount dollars. Amount. Ticket. Yeah, done. So we are actually done. I'll just save this and let's debug it once. Debug. So the first screen, we are going to select a account. Next. So once we select the account, we get list of products and display the list of products. So from list of products, I'm going to select a few products, right? Say next. So now I'm going to fill order details. So what is the order date, payment mode, and then the details. So I want 2 iPhones, some 10 of these, and maybe one of these, or so 2 of this. And when I click next, what is going to happen? It is going to extract. So till here, we are here, right? Order summary screen. So now it is going to extract all the order line items, and then it is going to create order. Then it is going to assign order ID to each order line item, then create order line item, then get the order details, and then display, right? So that is what is happening in this last step. So when I say next, you can see the order is created, and we can see like what all happened, right? Yeah. So from here, When we clicked on next, it loops through all the products, selected products. And for each product, we are assigning the order, like product ID, quantity, and unit price. And we are creating the order line item, and we are adding to order line item list, right? So we are doing it for each product. So we selected 3 products, so that will happen for 3 times. And then finally, we are going to create order record. And then we are using this transform to map the order ID for each of the records. And then we are going to create order line items. And then finally get order details and display, right? So we can see this order is created. Let's go back to orders here. So this 19, order number 19 is created. And if I go here, we can see like whatever products we selected, those are added or as order line items. Quantity is there, unit price is there, and total is calculated, right? And that total we are displaying here.